I want to take you frame by frame, nice and easy through an inspection of a colony of honeybees. This is one of my favorite hives full of bees right here. I've had my eye on them now for at least a year, if not longer. And I've just been real impressed with these bees. I'm not even sure where the genetics come from, but I really like these bees. On the 6th of February, I came out here and did an inspection on them. I noticed the strength was good, the attitude was good, and they had 0 mites in the mite wash. So I've been thinking I might use this queen as a breeder queen if I start to do some grafts. Let's take a deep dive here. I want to go slow, frame by frame, talk you through what I'm doing with my inspection, and just really spend a little time with you here in this hive full of bees. Now when we pull the lid back, we notice first of all that the bees are calm. We see they're building wax here on the lid. There's a lot of bees on the lid and they are really building up. I see some white wax right here, which means they're actually building wax. We're in wax building mode. Today is March 7th, and you'll see we've got bees all the way from edge to edge here in this second box. Now this is a double deep. These bees are obviously doing well. I'm gonna smoke them a little bit, but the bees they're not really feisty or flighty or mean at all, at least not yet. They've had a great attitude so far. Typically when you go through a beehive, it's best to start towards the outside. I don't always do that. If I'm real careful, sometimes I pull them more towards the middle. And these outer frames lots of times are kind of glued to the outside of the box. So I'm gonna go with the second frame in right here. I use my Hive Alive hive tool here. It's got the hook and the standard hive tool. It's kind of a combo tool here. I'm gonna set my hook right here. It's the best place, kind of between the end of the box and the frame right there. Just hook it up. We'll pull this frame out first. It's kind of like opening up a gift anytime you open up a hive of bees. So on this frame we have honey right around the top here. It's like a ring. We have nectar in here. Those cells are shiny. I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera. And then down here we have some pollen right in there. We got kind of a greenish, grayish type color and then yellow. Isn't that cool? I'll flip it over. Pretty much honey mostly on that side. So they've got a lot of good, nice food in this top box. The next frame in is a brand new frame. I'm not sure if I must have pulled a frame out here when I was doing splits a couple of weeks ago. I'm not sure if I pulled a split out of this colony or if I just pulled a frame of brood out of here. If you look right there, though, you'll see they are building this nice new pure frame. Plastic foundation, they're building it out beautifully. They're just working hard here and just as happy as they can be, just doing their thing. Look at that beautiful white wax. I love to see that. That's so cool when they do that. So they are definitely in growth mode and they've got plenty of bees that need plenty of work to do. I like to either take the tip like this and pop it back, or you can take the hive tool like this and turn it like that to loosen it up. Now the reason the hook is so handy is because the bottom of these frames will sometimes be, the bees will connect them to the frames below, so you got to kind of pry them loose a little bit. On this frame we have a fair amount of brood. We've got drones walking everywhere in here, a bunch of drones. So they are definitely about to be in production mode here. We've got a little bit of honey right here and nectar all around the top rim here. The other side has a beautiful brood pattern all through here. These bees are nice and calm. I really like them. And down here we have queen cups. And lots of times bees will build these practice cups. Let me see if they're charged with the egg or larvae. All right, checking in these queen cups, I didn't see any egg or larvae for a queen to be made, but they're practicing, they're getting ready to go into that production stage. Now if you'll notice, I pulled the frame out from near the outside so I can kind of gradually move these frames over, and that creates plenty of space as I pull the next frame out. There is a danger always of rolling a queen, which means she just kind of gets caught on the edge of the frame as you pull the frame out, and it rolls her and kind of smashes her, and you can kill a queen that way. I think it's pretty rare to happen if you're careful, but it can happen, and I'm sure in my time beekeeping I've probably done that. This frame is mostly brood, Now what the bees are doing here, they're putting some honey, some pollen down here, even amongst the nectar. That just makes it really easy for them to access right there. As they're growing, they'll do that. That's not a bad thing. Got a couple more practice cups here. There's no queen, there's no, I think there actually may be an egg in that one. So these bees might be prepping to swarm. They got plenty of population to swarm, so I gotta watch them. I used to use mostly these black plastic Pierco frames. I like them, they're fine, but in recent times I've used more of the wood frames from Pura Hive. Right here we have some wonky comb that's being built. Now that is not the frame's fault. What this is probably an old plastic frame I put in here. They've not been recently waxed, and so they'll build a little wonky. What I've found over the years though is if I just kind of peel it off like this and let them start over, then we go into that wax building mode, they'll often straighten it out. I could shake the bees off, just kind of rub the wax on there, or I could just take the frame out and go re-wax it, but I'm not going to worry about that today. This side they're building out nicely, except for that little section right there. This frame is probably just not waxed like it needs to be, but I'm not too worried about it. Now on this frame, there are eggs and young larvae on there. Got a lot of pollen around this side right here. And she's just putting brood anywhere she can. We got drone brood up here. Drone brood is bigger. It's kind of bullet shaped. This is worker brood down here. It's more flat. See over here we got drone brood kind of sticking out. Nectar all through here. These bees are doing phenomenally well. More of the same over here. We got a lot of drone brood over here, and it's just kind of a little bit of a crazy frame, but we got a little bit of everything on that frame. Drone brood and worker brood. I'll just go to this one. This is probably, ouch, one got me. I think I put my finger on one. Got me in the finger. The fact that I'm even able to work these bees without gloves on is a testament to their attitude. If they get real feisty, I just put the gloves on. I don't worry too much about it. To me, it's not any sort of a badge of honor to work bees without gloves or a veil. I try to work them sometimes without gloves, and if they start getting me, I just put gloves on. Not a big deal. Beautiful pollen all through here, kind of a greenish and a yellowish color. Got it glued down. It's been a while since I pulled that frame out. That frame is real heavy. It's got honey, pot nectar. It's full of nectar. That's a complete frame of nectar. I don't know if you can see it shiny in the camera, but boy, they are bringing something in. Bee season is here. Now that I've gone through this box, what I'm going to do, I'll take my hive tool and push like this, slide all the frames over together. That kind of minimizes the squishing of bees, and especially if the queen happens to be in this box, which I didn't see her, but she might be still, you never know. It's just kind of as a safety feature. And what I like to do too, you see all these bees on this frame, they kind of just collected there. I'll just shake them like that, and that way I'll be less likely to smash a bunch of bees or roll bees as I place the frame back where it goes. So we've been through the top box, all kinds of really good stuff there. Super healthy honeybee colony. I want to break into the bottom box and see if it's packed out like this as well. Sometimes the bees will move up. There won't be any bees in the bottom, but I don't think that's the case here, but we're about to find out. Oh yeah. So if you look over here, you'll see the way I do this is, especially when I work on pallets, you can put it on the ground as well, but I put the lid upside down here, and I put the box that I took off over on the lid, and they'll just sit here while we do the inspection of the bottom box. Now many times as I go through my bees, I'm in kind of a hurry. I thought it'd be kind of cool to take my time today. I'm not in really a big hurry today. I don't have a ton of things to do. Just bring you along for the ride, and if I were a hobbyist or a fairly new beekeeper, I would do my inspections more like this. I would just take my time and enjoy the bees and learn from the bees and kind of see if I can find all the different kinds of bees. Now I hope to see the queen. If we don't, I'm not going to get too upset about it, but I'd like to see her as well as part of this inspection. I'm going to go ahead and scrape this It's called burr comb off the top of the frames here. This is where they've connected the bottom box to the frames in the top. And this is one thing I think that I find more with these black plastic frames is the bees will tend to really connect them together like this for some reason. Another thing you can do is you pull boxes apart. The bees will often build drone comb in between the top and the bottom box. Of course, the drones are the male bees. That's what these big white larvae are here. As we broke the boxes apart, it kind of ripped those cells apart. And you can look in the drone larvae, and if you see little red dots or kind of brownish dots in there, those are varroa mites, and that could mean you have an infestation. I'm looking here pretty closely and I don't see a single varroa mite in these larvae, which makes sense if the last mite wash I did was 0 mites. It's kind of cool that it's confirming that here. I think my mites are under pretty good control this year, but I am going to do a treatment here before the honey season starts, and we'll be showing that, I'm sure, in a new video. I've really been super vigilant this year. I've worked really hard to try to keep my mites under control and to keep my bees in pretty good shape. And the bees have looked pretty good so far coming into spring. I watched a video from Bob Benny one time, and historically I've kind of had a hard time finding the queen, and one technique that he suggests is that you start on the far side of the box because the bees will kind of run away from the light a little bit. So if you start on the far side of the box and you create some extra light going on that side, then the queen, she may run to this side of the frame, so when you pull the frame up you might find her. So why don't we try that? Let's see if we can get this outer frame out of here. I don't know if I've even been in this bottom box for months. So I'm trying to be real easy. In case the queen's over there, we don't want to roll her. We'll look here. Really not too much going on. There is a little bit of nectar here in the top. And this frame it's just completely a food frame. We got pollen, we got nectar. They're kind of putting food wherever they can in here. They're putting it right there. Maybe we'll get lucky and spot the queen. If we don't, though, I'm not going to be too upset about it, because I have seen plenty of evidence of a queen with all the brood and the eggs and the larvae. Oh yeah, for sure, man. We've got brood here. We have brood here. Take my hive tool like this. It's kind of my favorite way to do it. Grab my hook like this, into the frame. This is when you see this on the plastic foundation, odds are the foundation was warped a little bit, so it was too close to the next frame over. So they just didn't draw wax out there. I don't worry too much about it. Not that big of a deal. This side has brood, pollen all around the brood, and right here we have larvae that are in various stages of development. Really nice frame here. Let me look, I bet there are eggs and stuff all through here. Yeah, we have eggs. We have different stages of development right there. We have pollen, and there she is. There's the queen. She's got a green dot, which means she's from last year. She's got a yellow abdomen, so I'm not sure if she's one of the Hawaiian queens I put in here late in the year or not. She might be, I'm just not sure, but whoever she is, wherever she came from, she's doing a tremendous job. So the queen is right here. And she's kind of running around. She's a little scared right now, but that, the Bob Benny technique may have worked on this one, because she was on this side as I pulled it up. She was on the side facing me. So now we found the queen, and we've seen all the different resources and parts of this honeybee colony here. We will kind of rapidly go through the rest of the frames. Normally, if I was doing an inspection, I would probably just stop there if I was looking for the queen, but we'll just go through it and show you what's going on. Nice brood pattern. Just beautiful. Wow. These bees are killing it. They probably should be split. Don't have any queens available now or any cells, so I think I'm going to give them some extra space. Just let them continue to do some work here. Yeah, they are just really, they're putting pollen right in here wherever they're making brood. They're just really, they are in complete buildup mode right now. They're doing an absolutely phenomenal job. I'm very excited about this colony of honeybees. Golly, just so many bees. So beautiful, doing such a tremendous job. Wow. So now we have the question, what are we going to do to keep them from swarming? We've seen that they have started building cups on the bottom of the frames, which is where they typically build them. That's typically where they place the swarm cells. I think I saw one egg in a cup, but she had not gone through and filled them up with eggs yet. What do you think I should do with these bees? Obviously, I should probably split them. With these bees being such good bees, I could just do a walk-away split, take the queen away, then theoretically she'll think she's swarmed. Maybe that'll shut that swarming instinct down if they're kind of snapping into that swarm mode. I could just add some space, give them more things to do. That would probably help. I'm seriously considering using her as a breeder queen and maybe making some cells off of her and seeing how they do. I really like this hive of bees. They're calm. They're starting to fly around a little bit, but I've been in them for a long time, but they are not at all aggressive. I did get, I think, 1 or 2 stings when I put my finger on a bee, but other than that, they're not even worried about me. They're not even messing with my hands. I'm putting, all around them here. They're not worried about me a bit. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring another deep box over here. I'm gonna actually put some foundation in here for them to build, and I'm gonna add some space in here for them to work. I think I'm gonna put it actually between the 2 boxes. Now, it sounds a little strange. The reason I'm gonna do that is because they'll feel like they have to close the space in. I'm gonna put some drawn comb in here too for them to work on, for her to kind of shoot up and start laying in. But I think I'm gonna put a box in the middle. I know it seems odd, we're gonna try it. I think I'm gonna put a box in the middle that has some drawn frames in the middle that she can start laying in with foundation on the outside, and we'll just see what happens. My bet is that we come back in a week or 2 and they'll have that thing mostly drawn out, and that queen will have that middle box full of brood as well. And I just really want to keep them in the box because I'm thinking about seriously using her as a breeder queen, and I think that she is going to have some tremendous genetics that we can move forward with. One of my favorite colonies in my entire operation right here. They didn't like me dropping them too much. All right, so I'm gonna put this drawn comb right down in here like this. 4 frames. I'll just add another frame in here. I had 5 frames that were easily accessible. Here's a brand new frame of foundation. Now this is a frame I actually put together last year. Hopefully they'll draw it out nicely. Here's a brand new frame from this year. Not sure you can tell the wax coating on it, but it's got a nice thick coat of wax. It's a Pura frame from Premier. Just see how they do. For those who may not be familiar with honeybees, they love to be working. That's what they're built to do. They're built to work. And so these frames right here, it's 5 complete frames for them to draw wax out on, like they did the one over here that I showed you at the beginning. These 5 frames in the middle, that queen can come on up there and she can start laying. They'll come in here, they'll clean it up. I just took it off of it was a dead out, I guess. I had it tipped over here in the bee yard. So they'll get up here and here, they'll start cleaning it up, and she'll start laying in it. You know what I'm gonna do? Here's what I need to do. I need to put a frame in the middle here that's actually got brood in it. I think it'll help. I'll pull it out of the top box actually, since I've already got this box on there. So I just pulled this frame out of the box that was on the top. It's got bees, it's got brood. It'll kind of create almost like a chain or a connection from the bottom box to the top, and that'll get them on up in this box. And I think they would probably do it anyway without any trouble, but that'll make a connection. If ever you want to start drawing a box out, you just pull a frame up from the, a nice frame of brood or whatever, pull it up from the bottom box in the next box if you're adding boxes on top, or you just need to make that connection somehow. I just pulled it from from this box, but I think that'll be okay. So now we have this box here. This is the frame that they're just kind of getting started on. They haven't drawn out much. That one that had the wonky comb on it, so I'm gonna kind of move it over. I thought it would be two nicely drawn out frames on either side of my foundation I put in, but I'm actually going to take this frame of drawn comb and put it in there, so that'll work out fine. If I was putting foundation here, that would be fine too, with the two frames of foundation on either side. With the checkerboard in, they draw it out pretty quickly. And then we're just going to put this lid on there. I really wanted to take some time on that and go through the inspection top to bottom and my decision making. I thought I'd just focus in on that one colony today. Tell me what you thought about that colony. Tell me what you would have done. I know a lot of people would have done things differently than I did, and that's okay. But we're going to try this and see what happens. It's been a wonderful bee season so far. We've already made a bunch of splits, and I'm going to leave a link to the video where we made a bunch of those splits with those Hawaiian queens right here. Drop me a comment. We'll catch you next time.